Tom Hanks, affectionately known as America's Dad. In a career spanning decades, he has always demonstrated his versatility and charm. However, despite his fame and success, Hanks has kept a secret from the public eye. Now 69 years old, he is revealing a new aspect of his life. What could this secret be, and how will it affect the way his admirers think of him concerning themselves? What did he say when it came to Donald Trump? Join us as Tom Hanks finally admits what we have all suspected all along. Early life and career. The son of accomplished chef Amos Bud Hanks and housewife Janet Marilyn, Tom Hanks came into this world on the 9th of July 1956 in Concord, California. He spent his formative years in Oakland. A defining moment in his formative years was the divorce of his parents when he was 5 years old. After describing how he felt like an outcast in his own family, Hanks said that this traumatic event permanently altered his personality. Hanks's father shouldered the enormous burden of parenting him and his two elder siblings, Sandra and Larry, when the couple separated. The family set out on a nomadic life, traveling from place to place in quest of a new beginning and permanent residence. They ultimately made their home in Oakland, California, a dynamic metropolis with a diverse cultural scene where Hanks would spend his early years. Hanks started to realize his love for performing while he was a high school student in Oakland. Hanks immersed himself in school plays and drama groups, finding consolation in the artistic world despite the hardships he endured at home. Despite their financial struggles, Hanks' father always supported his son's artistic endeavors, knowing full well that his son's skill and perseverance would catapult him to fame. Moving around a lot and growing up in a chaotic household shaped Hanks's character traits of perseverance, flexibility, and resolve. As he gracefully and modestly made his way through the highs and lows of Hollywood, these traits would serve him well. Hanks overcame obstacles in his youth to set the stage for an extraordinary life story. Was this, however, sufficient to propel him from Oakland stages to Hollywood's, where his charisma, talent, and commitment could mesmerize audiences around the globe? An unexpected arrival of the Iceman. He finished high school in 1974, but life didn't improve after that. In Hayward, California, Hanks enrolled in a junior college, not knowing what he wanted to do with his life. Reading and seeing a production of The Iceman Cometh by Eugene O'Neill in 1946, nevertheless, was a watershed point in his life. After this, he took the risk of transferring to California State University, Sacramento, and dove headfirst into the theater department following his newfound love for acting. Hanks was asked to participate in the summer session of the esteemed Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival in Lakewood, Ohio in 1977 after his talent and devotion gained him notice. For the following 3 years, he worked behind the scenes at a Sacramento community theater group during the winters and spent his summers perfecting his skill, playing in several Shakespearean shows. His personal and professional development were aided by this rigorous training and experience. In 1978, he won the esteemed Cleveland Critics Circle Award for Best Actor for his superb performance as Proteus in The Two Gentlemen of Verona, a testament to his dedication and perseverance as an actor. His decision to pursue acting was affirmed, and his enthusiasm for the art form was encouraged by this distinction. Where did Hanks go from his early stage triumph, which paved the way for an impressive cinematic career? Splash makes a big splash. The daring choice to forego further education in favor of a full-time acting profession was Tom Hanks's by 1980. He moved to New York City, a mecca for creativity and opportunity, after his third season with the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival. The 1980 horror picture He Knows You're Alone was Hanks's first acting performance, but he persisted through several auditions before he landed a minor part. Another major change followed this breakthrough quickly. An ABC talent scout found Hanks and put him in the groundbreaking and hilarious sitcom Bosom Buddies. Hanks featured as one of 2 ad execs who, with some ingenuity, posed as drag queens to get an apartment in a building where only women lived. This performance was a watershed moment in Hanks's career, demonstrating his range and acting chops in a serious and humorous context. From 1980 to 1982, Bosom Buddies was on television. Despite the show's cancellation after 2 seasons, Hanks gained fan recognition and went on to appear in guest spots on hit series such as Taxi, Happy Days, The Love Boat, and Family Ties. Ron Howard, who had been Hanks's co-star on Happy Days and was now a director, remembered him from 1982 and had him read for a supporting role in a film. After John Candy earned the supporting role, Hanks landed the main role of a man who falls in love with a mermaid in Howard's Splash, with Daryl Hannah. The film was an unexpected success, catapulting Hanks to stardom. A string of poorly received films followed, including Bachelor Party, The Man with One Red, Shoe, Volunteers, The Money Pit, and Dragnet. Despite the critical failures of these movies, Hanks managed to emerge relatively unscathed, as reviewers often pointed to his performance as the best thing about each film. Big major hit. In 1988, Tom Hanks landed a breakthrough role in director Penny Marshall's Big, playing a 13-year-old boy who wakes up in the body of a 5-year-old man. His endearing and convincing performance captivated both critics and audiences, earning him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. With Big, Hanks demonstrated his ability to carry a film to success, showcasing both his talent and box office appeal. He brought a unique blend of humor, vulnerability, and relatability to the role, making it a memorable and iconic performance. From 1988 to 1990, he had a string of productions that didn't quite hit the mark, but they did show his range as an actor, with parts ranging from comedies like Joe vs. The Volcano and Turner and Hooch, to more tragic pieces like Punchline and Bonfire of the Vanities. Hanks's reputation as an adaptable actor who could play any number of parts was cemented by these varied performances. He is well adored and esteemed in the film business for his unwavering commitment to his art and his talent for captivating viewers. After a stunning 1992 performance as the manager of an all-women's baseball club in A League of Their Own, Tom Hanks had a fantastic 1993, showcasing his range and brilliance with two enormous hits. To start, he was back with Joe vs. Shark in Nora Ephron's romance comedy Sleepless in Seattle, starring with Meg Ryan in The Volcano. The entertaining film followed a son's efforts to locate a new spouse for his widower father through a radio talk program. Fans all around the globe couldn't get enough of Hanks's charming portrayal of the father, Sam Baldwin. Then, in Philadelphia, co-starring Denzel Washington, Hanks gave a strong and brave performance. The role that Hanks played in this thought-provoking drama was that of Andrew Beckett, a wealthy lawyer whose aides caused him to lose his high-paying job. He won a slew of accolades, including his first Oscar for Best Actor, for his moving performance as a man standing up for himself against prejudice and bigotry. Not only did Hanks's versatility shine through in this part, but it also highlighted an important societal problem, solidifying his reputation as an accomplished and politically engaged actor. Tom Hanks's incredible run of films continued in 1994, with Robert Zemeckis' sprawling epic Forrest Gump. The film chronicles the remarkable life of Forrest Gump, a guy whose low IQ puts him in the middle of some of the most pivotal events of the 20th century. Breaking box office records and receiving critical praise, this adored classic enchanted audiences around the world. With 6 Oscars to its name, including Best Picture and Best Director, Forrest Gump cemented its position in cinematic annals. In a feat rarely seen in half a century, Hanks won his second straight Best Actor Oscar for his legendary portrayal of the eponymous role. Audiences connected with his depiction of Forrest Gump because of his kind spirit, straightforward knowledge, and steadfast optimism. With Hanks's iconic performance and the rest of the film's exceptional storytelling, Forrest Gump has become a cinematic masterpiece that will never be forgotten. Tom Hanks, who seemed like he would be content to sit on his laurels after his previous success, appeared in the Ron Howard-directed 1995 hit Apollo 13, which was based on the tragic 1970 lunar landing mission. Apollo 13, like Forrest Gump, was a huge financial success, earning more than $500 million worldwide. Along with that, Hanks was in charge of the voice cast for the groundbreaking 1995 Disney-Pixar collaboration feature, Toy Story, which shook up the animation business. That Thing You Do, a musical comedy drama that Hanks co-wrote and directed the following year, was a somewhat successful debut for the actor. The Emmy-winning HBO miniseries From the Earth to the Moon allowed Hanks to further explore his creative skills behind the camera as he produced, directed, wrote, and acted in many episodes. He solidified his position as a multi-talented artist in the film business with this big endeavor, which displayed his flexibility and attention to narrative. In Steven Spielberg's 1998 riveting World War II epic Saving Private Ryan, Hanks had a strong performance. The film's vivid and realistic portrayal of the battle won it several accolades and was critically acclaimed. Spielberg was the only one to win an Oscar for directing Saving Private Ryan, even though the film had many nominations. In the same year, Hanks was in the delightful love comedy You've Got Mail, which reunited him with Nora Ephron and Meg Ryan. Showing off his acting chops in both tragic and humorous roles, Tom Hanks starred in this charming comedy about two business competitors who unwittingly fall in love online. Returning to his role as the voice of Woody, the cowboy protagonist of 1995's animated feature Toy Story, Hanks stormed to the top of the holiday box office in late 1999. The second Toy Story film, which also stars Tim Allen, broke box office records when it premiered over Thanksgiving weekend, earning an unprecedented $80.8 million. At the same time, he was starring in The Green Mile, a film that debuted at number 2 at the box office, just behind Toy Story 2. Stephen King's short tale served as the basis for the film, which took place in a jail during the Great Depression. In Zemeckis' long-awaited 2000 picture Cast Away, which co-starred Helen Hunt and starred Hanks, the actor underwent a dramatic physical makeover to play the role of a man marooned on a barren island. His performance propelled the film to the top of the holiday box office, earning Hanks critical raves and yet another well-deserved Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Having already notched an imposing record of box office hits, his accessible good looks and regular guy charisma earned him comparisons with screen legends of the past, like Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, Henry Fonda, and Gary Cooper. Hanks in 2002 was honored with the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award, making him the youngest actor ever to receive that honor. The Broadway debut. In 2002, Tom Hanks produced the surprise hit My Big Fat Greek Wedding, starring Nia Vardalos. He was back on the big screen in 2004 with Joel and Ethan Coen's remake of the classic 1955 comedy The Lady Killers, Spielberg's comedy drama The Terminal, and the family film The Polar Express. The A-list actor also continued his producing work with the IMAX space documentary Magnificent Desolation in 2005 and Evan Almighty in 2007. Hanks was next seen in the highly anticipated The Da Vinci Code in 2006, based on the best-selling novel by Dan Brown and co-starring Audrey Tautou. Over $750 million was the film's total gross. Charlie Wilson's War, starring Tom Hanks, was a 2007 holiday film about a Texas congressman's attempts to aid Afghan rebels against the Soviets. Hanks was nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance. Following 2009's The Da Vinci Code, Hanks was in the sequel, 2009's Angels and Demons. After that, in 2010, he did vocal work for the critically acclaimed TV miniseries The Pacific and the 2010 release of Toy Story 3. In 2011 and 2012, Hanks maintained his winning record with leading parts in Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close, and Cloud Atlas, respectively. After an incredible run in film, Hanks debuted on Broadway in Lucky Guy and was nominated for a Tony for Best Performance by Lead Actor. He was runner-up to Tracy Letts of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but his outstanding performance was nevertheless acknowledged. In 2013, Hanks was also in Captain Phillips, a maritime thriller, and Saving Mr. Banks, a biopic about Walt Disney's efforts to get P.L. Travers to approve adapting Mary Poppins for the big screen. The role of a United States attorney in the Cold War drama Bridge of Spies was highly praised by reviewers after Hanks's appearance in the music video I Like You by pop singer Carly Rae Jepsen. The actor teamed together with director Steven Spielberg again for the fall 2015 film. Steven Spielberg's 2017 film The Post, which starred Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, recounts the events leading up to the Vietnam War-era publishing of the Pentagon Papers by The Washington Post. Critical acclaim and another Golden Globe nomination came the way of the seasoned actor's performance. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the biopic that would eventually star Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers, was revealed in January 2018 as a future project. The idea came from a 1998 Esquire story by Tom Junod, who described how he met and became friends with the famous kids' TV personality. Hanks, who received his sixth Academy Award nomination after the film's November 2019 theatrical release, portrayed the genial Rogers with ease. Now that we've covered Hanks's biography and work, what about his private life? We will discover his personal life, intimate relationships, offspring, and personal life. During his time in college, Tom Hanks became acquainted with Samantha Lewis, who happened to be born Susan Dillingham. Samantha Lewis was an actress and producer. In 1978, they finally married the wedding, and by 1987, they had 2 children, Colin and Elizabeth. However, their marriage eventually came to an end in divorce. In the year that followed, in 1988, Tom Hanks tied the knot with Rita Wilson, an actress who had been beside him in the film Volunteers. Their children, Chester and Truman, are the result of their union. A big health update was disclosed by Tom Hanks during an open and honest interview on The Late Show with David Letterman in October 2013. After revealing that he had been controlling his high blood sugar levels since he was 36 years old, he disclosed that his condition had developed into type 2 diabetes. Moving forward in time to March 2020, Tom Hanks announced on Instagram that he and his wife, Rita Wilson, had tested positive for COVID-19 when they were in Australia. This discovery represented an important point in the epidemic since Hanks was one of the first high-profile celebrities to openly reveal his illness. This news was a step in the right direction. At this point, it is time for the big event to begin. What secret, or maybe several secrets, has Tom Hanks been keeping hidden? The stunning fact is being revealed now. Why is he coming out to expose it? Tom Hanks admits the ugly truth about several of his movies. Tom Hanks is prepared to confess that some of his films are terrible, even though he has had a tremendous career in the film industry, having won several honors and having a large bank account to show for it. In an interview with The New Yorker that was published on Wednesday, the actor who played Otto in the film Man Named Otto revealed that the majority of performers are unaware of whether or not the film they are working on is going to be successful. Even though he has been a steady presence in Hollywood since the 1980s, Tom Hanks has confessed that he is not a major fan of many of the films he has directed. He said that he disliked a few of his films and believes that other people feel the same way. Isn't that a rather strange and surprising thought? For example, The Circle, which, by the way, is a film that has a score of 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, is one of the films that is considered to be poor. The Man with One Red Shoe, which was released in 1985, The Bonfire of the Vanities, which was released in 1990, and The Terminal, which was released in 2004, are among the films that are widely considered to be among Hanks's poorest works, at least according to rankings found on the internet. Hanks did not mention specific films that he has appeared in that he did not enjoy, but he did attempt to explain why he has been cast in several critically acclaimed films. It was Tom Hanks who appeared in the films Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, and Cast Away. In addition to being nominated for Cast Away, he was awarded an Academy Award for his work on Forrest Gump. Apollo 13 was the film that earned him a Screen Actors Guild Award, and he was a member of the ensemble cast. According to Hanks, there are 5 points of the Rubicon that every actor goes through when they sign up to be in a movie role. Hanks made this statement to the magazine. He added that the first and most important stage is to commit to a movie that would determine one's destiny. When the final product is viewed, the next crucial phase is determining whether it lives up to the expectations or whether it falls short of the vision that was intended. Hanks continued by stating that the third Rubicon is the critical reaction, which he referred to as a form of the vox populi. The fact, he agreed, most likely lies somewhere in the middle of the spectrum of thoughts that people have regarding a movie, which might range from utter disdain to complete genius. He was also aware of the fact that the financial success of a picture is an essential component, given that a film that is not successful in making money may swiftly put a person's career in jeopardy. According to Hanks, the fifth Rubicon is time, which is the point at which the movie arrives 20 years after the event. As an illustration of his final argument, Hanks cites the film That Thing You Do, which was released in 1996. He emphasized his appreciation for this specific film, stating that he enjoyed the process of composing it, the experience of being engaged, and the individuals he collaborated with. When it was first released, the movie was met with a lackluster reception from both viewers and critics, and it wasn't very successful at the box office. An uninspired and sentimental approach was taken toward it. On the other hand, over time, the same magazines that had previously disregarded it are now considered to be cult classics. He observed that the passage of time was the only thing that differentiated the two contrasting impressions. I think Hanks might have a point. In 2019, other individuals, such as Kirsten Dunst, expressed their openness to the fact that many of her early films were first criticized, but that they earned more acclaim over time. When it comes to the legacy of a film, time is such a crucial component. The fact that The Secret has been disclosed means that it is time to move on from that, since there is more to come. While it is commonly known that Tom Hanks has made significant contributions to several humanitarian causes, what did he have to say about Donald Trump? Upon being questioned about Trump, Tom Hanks voiced his fear for the democratic process. In response to a question about him that was posed on Thursday during a remembrance of D-Day, Tom Hanks admitted his fears about the possibility of Donald Trump winning the election in November, but he did not name the former president. While interviewing the Normandy American Cemetery, Christiane Amanpour of CNN posed the question to the actor, who is best known for his performance in the film Saving Private Ryan, if he was concerned about the United States' dedication to democracy and freedom, which are principles for which many people had sacrificed their lives, if another president like Trump's were to take place. Under his address commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day, Joe Biden cautioned that democracy is more in danger throughout the world than it has ever been since the end of World War II. The actor was there for the event, which was held to celebrate the passing of the milestone. He responded by saying that although there is always a need to be concerned about the near term, he makes sure to take into consideration the longer term, as well as the larger historical context. In his capacity as a self-proclaimed lay historian, he referred to the preamble of the Constitution, which starts with the phrase, "We the people of the United States," in order to form a more perfect union. The path toward a more perfect union has been fraught with blunders, which he and others, including professional journalists, are well aware of. He admitted that these blunders had occurred with the voyage. Despite this, he believes that, over time, there will undoubtedly be advancements made toward the achievement of that more ideal marriage. Having previously stated that a victory for Trump in the 2016 presidential election would be a gloomy day, the actor went on to reassure the American people that everything was going to be well shortly after the election. He then went on to discuss the process by which such a perfect marriage is created. He stated that progress does not originate from myths about good and evil or victims, but rather from the progressive alignment of reality with ordinary life. It is important to note that it is ultimately up to the acts of individuals, such as showing compassion to one's neighbors and local business owners. The United States of America and other Western democracies, he said, would ultimately shift toward what is right, propelled by the collective acts of their population. He voiced his trust in this. Tom Hanks' acting legacy remains unrivaled. Tom Hanks is the most accomplished actor of the previous half-century, even though he seems to have a negative opinion of several of his films. Hanks has established a successful career for himself by playing a variety of parts, including those of Chesley Sully Sullenberger, Forrest Gump, and Sheriff Woody. Hanks has amassed a considerable body of work in the more than 4 decades that have passed since he made his acting debut in the film He Knows You're Alone in 1980. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by former President Barack Obama in 2016, which is the greatest honor that he has received. Furthermore, according to IMDb, Hanks has had 211 nominations and 92 wins, which includes 2 Academy Honors, 7 Emmys, and a Guinness World Record for winning Best Actor for 2 consecutive years. Hanks has also been nominated for additional honors. Despite all of these achievements, Hanks continues to maintain a humble attitude on his job. In a remark that Hanks made in conjunction with the release of his memoir, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece, he made a lighthearted reference to the fact that he believes that just 4 of his films are of satisfactory quality. This revelation caused news outlets to jump. Even though the majority of fans are aware that the Toy Story franchise consists of 4 films, it is difficult to imagine that Hanks proposed just 4. The finest series that Tom Hanks has ever worked on is the Toy Story franchise, in which he portrayed Woody, the beloved cowboy of the entire world. This is a family-friendly franchise that includes 4 features and many shorts that are suitable for people of all ages. There are a lot of people who disagree on which Toy Story movie is the best, but according to Rotten Tomatoes, All four of them are the finest movies starring Tom Hanks. Toy Story 2 is currently at the uppermost position, followed by Toy Story, Toy Story 3, and finally, Toy Story 4. It is difficult to conceive of a world in which the Sheriff of Andy's room does not exist, given the widespread popularity of the Toy Story films. While Woody is responsible for maintaining order among the other toys, he also teaches children how to collaborate with those with whom they may not always get along. It is a holistic experience to witness Hanks's portrayal of this character, which is outstanding, and how he coped with situations that are accessible via Woody, such as finding a purpose in life or saying goodbye to friends. Among the many legendary cartoon characters that Tom Hanks is renowned for, Woody is not the only one. Since Hanks is the conductor of the Polar Express, he is in charge of the train. Hanks is allowed to discuss the core premise of this Christmas classic, which is the belief that miracles may happen. Hot Chocolate is one of the most memorable musical pieces in the film, and he also has a role in it. The part of Josh, the main character in Big, is without a doubt one of the most hilarious portrayals in Tom Hanks's oeuvre. Hanks portrays Josh in the role of an adult on screen. The plot of the film revolves around Josh's desire to become a grown-up. Several hilarious moments are produced as a result of this, such as Josh hitting himself in the face while playing with a puppet. Not only does Hanks make children of all ages laugh, but he also brings enough laughs to the table that adults will also appreciate the film. Family films with Tom Hanks are enjoyable for people of all ages, but as moviegoers become older, they are also able to appreciate the many other parts he has played. There is a wide variety of films available to choose from when deciding what to watch next, ranging from comedies and sports films to films about war and history. Throughout your entire life, you will be able to see his work and find it entertaining. A League of Their stars Tom Hanks as Jimmy Dugan, the manager of the Rockford Peaches, for those who are interested in sports. The events of this baseball movie take place in the 1940s, a time when men were serving in the military and women were playing baseball at the professional level. Additionally, it is the movie in which Hanks delivers what is widely considered to be his most famous phrase, which is, "There's no crying in baseball." This movie's focus on family is one of the reasons why it is so appealing to audiences. Recently released films such as Elvis, in which Hanks portrayed the role of Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager, are also available to see. In contrast to most of his films, Hanks plays a villainous character in this one. Dugan was the Hanks character that got the closest to being Elvis's manager, yet even he was able to change his mind in the end. However, this performance demonstrated how broad his parts can be, going beyond what is natural to him to create another great Tom Hanks performance. Although Tom Hanks is recognized for being a decent and compassionate person off-screen, he never really plays the character of the villain. His filmography includes some very remarkable films, such as Saving Private Ryan and Castaway, but Forrest Gump is without a doubt the most well-known picture that Tom Hanks has ever made. Hanks received significant accolades and an award for Best Actor for his portrayal of the eponymous character, who was enthusiastically received by both audiences and reviewers. It's also filled with lines like "Run, Forrest, run," and "Life is like a box of chocolates," making it one of Hanks's most quotable films. In his latest film, A Man Called Otto, Hanks plays the title character with his struggles after losing his wife, Sonia. This tearjerker is bound to tug at the heartstrings. You will most certainly find yourself in tears numerous times while watching A Man Called Otto, and it was unlike any other movie starring Tom Hanks that you have ever watched before. It is not as humorous as Big, it is not as athletic as A League of Their Own, and it is not as much of a family favorite as Toy Story, but it does demonstrate the miracle that is life. One person is all that is required to alter the perspective that another person has on life. And the fact that Otto's buddy Marisol did not give up on him was moving. The fact that Tom Hanks is a once-in-a-generation actor is not contingent on the genre of films that you enjoy the most. His range of films and the range of feelings that he can evoke in you are both examples of this. Hanks stood by his son, Chet, and praised his guts for opening out about his difficulties with addiction. At a time when the majority of celebrity parents would distance themselves from their children's struggles with chemical addictions and an unbecoming attitude, Hanks stood by his son. During the opening of Bridge of Spies in New York City, Tom Hanks participated in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, during which he discussed his unwavering love and support for his children. He lauded his son's bravery in revealing her fight with addiction in a series of heartfelt videos posted on Instagram. Hanks acknowledged that it takes a great deal of fortitude to open up about one's issues in public, and he expressed his respect for the bravery and honesty demonstrated by his child. One simply cannot but adore America's father. We appreciate you watching. You must give the video a thumbs up, provide feedback, and subscribe to our channel. Furthermore, please click on the following video that is displayed on your computer, and we will see you on the other side.